What's happening, my friends? Good morning. Happy Witchin' Wednesday, right? Like, that should totally be the name of the day, right? So, while I try to figure out how to do this Facebook event live thing, I hope that it's actually live. Like, my computer's freaking out. Like, technology and witchcraft do not go hand in hand, folks. They don't. Magic and technology almost runs on the same shit. Like, that is just some witchcraft. So, we're going to get down to some fun stuff this morning. I hope you are all having a fantastic hump day or the middle of the week or whatever it is, whatever time it is for wherever you are at. So, let's have a chat about witchcraft. All right, well, what is witchcraft, do we know? What do we know about witchcraft? We know that it is the connection of the earth and the spirits and all the fun things in life, right? It's a little bit of candles, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be calling on any specific thing. It just can be what it is, right? Like, that's the best thing about witchcraft is you can call it what you want, right? Our ancestors would just call it work or art, or it is what it is, right? You know, you can pass it off in a lot of different ways. And how you label yourself, how you label your craft, how you create from the aether with your desires and your dreams and everything, right? That's up to you. But these ingredients are what our ancestors used, what our applications of these things are, right? So we're going to get down to it with a little bit of frankincense today. This is going to be for the ascendancy of the spirit, right? So we're going to add a little bit of that in. Actually finishes that off, so I'll have to get more of those. And then we're going to add in some anise. And now the thing is about while we're working on ascendancy stuff, we're getting out there into the cosmos with our ideas, right? I love the star anise as a whole thing to grind down. Like, you can just do the anise seeds, and it's a really potent blend for fire and for the air, right? Like, you can mix the anise and lavender together, and you can conjure up a lightning storm. It's pretty fun. I used to do that back in high school. I just test the ingredients. And then we're going to use a little bit of comfrey. So the thing about comfrey is that while these things are folk magic herbs, it's like you can use them for the healing properties, but I'm only using them for their witchcraft properties, like the spirit inside the plant, the reason why the plants are what they are, right? And so as we grind this one down, comfrey is for safety in transit. It's for money. It's for protection of items. And so with the protection of items, the anise also provides protection. Like, you can see the shell of it as it protects the seeds, right? It's got all the different ways that you can grind these things down. And so as you create the ascendancy, as you elevate a spirit, or as you call on spirits for protection, you're elevating a situation, you're changing the situation because of what it is. You can add comfrey and anise and frankincense together, add that onto your mortar and pestle, and add that into your purification blends. You can add that into your application of these ingredients. So we're going to get to grind it on this stuff today. And now my question for you guys in the chat or in the comments below, what is it that you want to do with your spells? Like, I'm thinking on creating the application. The spell itself is the means by which something can be put into action. It is an unrestrained force, right? Like, so when you're channeling the energies through something, it creates that unrestrained directional force. Now, the difference between a spell, a ritual, and a rite, in my opinion, is that the ritual is a repeatable action. It's something that you can go through and do every day, all day. Like, doing the live is an active ritual because we're doing it every day. We're creating a set time for it. We're doing the light. We've got the incense. We've got these things going, right? Like, this is a set ritual I'm doing, right? The application of the spell in a ritual setting or in a ritual engagement of it, meaning its functional use, right? When we make a talisman, when we apply that ink together, when we apply these ingredient blends together, that becomes a rite. It becomes a once-off. The combination between the spell and the ritual becomes a singular event. And it's in that rite, it's in that singularity that we are creating our magic. We are compressing it down. So when we make a talisman, when we create those things, that's when we get that opportunity to compress the density of a thing. So that's when the spells come together, that's when the rituals come together, and you create a single outcome. And so every day, now that we have so many different ingredient blends, they could actually be making a bunch of different talismans and totems and stuff. Like, I've got enough stuff, we can start actually putting some of these things together. And not only in the morning can we have the spell a day challenge for just a few of the ingredients, we can start applying stuff in the afternoon. Like, I could go live at 2 and we could do a little rite, right? Or we could do a conversation about a ritual mechanic that you can use, or we could actually like do the protection talismans together and stuff. Like, you know, I could go through the different planetary talismans and stuff like that, and we can draw a bunch out. Like, yes, Mike, welcome. Yay for 10 a.m. So, sorry about that. If you got a little bit lost as to which event it was, there was some issues I had with the figuring out the right buttons, getting the right microphone going, so that way it's like it doesn't sound like my head's in a bucket. So I appreciate you being here, man. So what do you think about like doing a thing in the afternoon? So we have the spell a day challenge. What about doing a rite a day as well? Like, you know, what kind of things would you like to see as far as developing out the more robust natures of the work, right? Like, we get a chance to do these things, and we get a chance to apply these things, and then they can start actually making a difference in life, right? Like, it's not just, it's like I can tell you how to make the ink, or tell you how to mix the ink, or give you some shapes you can use, but if you actually see it being done, if you actually like have the opportunity to do it, or have your name thrown into a sigil in a talisman that I'm making, right? Like, would that be fun? Like, would that be good? So comment below, comment in the chat. Like, I'm thinking about like adding that to the programming, so to speak, as it were, for these channels, right? Again, like, I want this to be as interactive with magic that's working for people as much as possible, right? And so that as you create, in this case, we're doing the ascendancy of the spirit, right? There is protection along the way, right? Like, this is protected by anise, and this is protected by the comfrey. So you get that safety in transit as you ascend the planes, right? So you can use this to set your boundaries, or use this with the protection base that we created the other week, right? So you've got comfrey, anise, and frankincense ground down together in this one. You don't need very much anise if you don't want it to be overpowering with that licorice scent, right? Like, that's what Jaeger gets up to. I found a really fun meme the other day. It was, how bad is your day if a nun is buying Jaeger? Like, it was a picture of a nun buying Jaeger. It was like, it was just cute. It's like, like, how bad is it if the nun is buying Jaeger? Like, go nun. Like, hopefully it's fun. But, you know, it's one of those things where we should be doing this stuff as often as possible, but with purpose, right? And giving you guys the foundations of creating protective talismans or protective boundary stuffs, so that way you can create the elevation in your space, is super important. Because it's like, this is stuff that if you have these ingredients on hand, great. Like, you can get anise at your the grocery store, right? Comfrey you might find at your local witch shop. Frankincense you can definitely get at any of your witch shops, you know? Just mind your allergies with this stuff, my friends. But the spell has been ground down, so to speak. I've got just a little bit left on the powder. So, you know, moving forward, I think that really would be fun to do, like, the spell in the morning and then the rite in the afternoon, right? So, I will end this video now for you, my friends. We have created our week 4 day 4 blend. So this would be protection of the spirit in its ascent. Alrighty, my friends, stay safe, and I will probably see you this afternoon. So, have a wonderful day, and happy casting. Bye for now, y'all.